My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is February 24th, 2024. It is 3:43 a.m. I started late today. I was really not planning on recording anything, but I realized that when there's a lot going on Twitter and I don't document them, I can never go back to them. I don't feel like going back to them. So there were a couple of discussions that were going on Twitter, so I wanted to just document them. And plus, I was not really on Twitter as well yesterday, so I didn't post that much on my community, but I pretty much caught up on my sleep. Okay, so I have 8 videos or 8 tweets regarding Valentine Low. Some of them might be repetitions. If there's a video that's repeated, so I'll share it only once, and the following time that the next tweet that we tweeted it, I'll just go straight to the caption and the comments. Okay, there's something about immigration that I saw popping up on my timeline. So I grab about 5 of them. And William and King Charles, there's a couple of them. And the Queen God. The reason I grabbed those tweets is only 2. Is because I have spoke about this particular god. It was one of the Queen's personal guard or something like that. I spoke about him before on my channel. Not this one, probably on PYTE. And there's 3 tweets regarding Meghan. Okay, so let's get started. Before I do, let's check some numbers. And I see my subscription is growing. Okay, 3,801 subscribers, new subscribers, welcome. Estimate revenue, $164.93. Analytic, oh, did I say 93 cents? Okay, all right, so what is this? Okay, the drop in channel views you're seeing is due to fewer videos being published. Yeah, I knew that. Okay, I mentioned this in one of my videos. I was like, you know what, I'll take those numbers. Could have been in one of my yesterday's videos. I was like, I'll accept this because I was not really publishing that much on this channel. I was publishing on our part of pure service because of Invictus. Okay, so that's reasonable. I agree with this 100% because I even mentioned it before it was even shown. I was like, what is this? All right, so let's go on Twitter. And the thing is that with this, the things that I'm sharing with you, as much as I want to make money, don't get me wrong, I do want to make money. But if I make this my priority, I will lose focus. Okay, because I was seeing too many things that were popping, and you know, this is why I have 3 different channels, and I want to keep them separate. Okay, because I could have made a lot of money the week that Harry and Meghan were in Canada, because that's what was being discussed, and I was sharing a lot of videos. So I just want to keep it on the quiet side, on the more mellow charity channel. All right, so if you guys want to support me, there's PayPal, there's Cash App, and I plan on my shop, and I'm working on some design for t-shirt. That's what I was gonna work on tonight, but I saw so many things happening, and I was like, let me at least record them. So when I do bring it the shop back up, you know, you guys could check it. There were some things that I started working on. I will bring the shop back up again. All right, so let's focus on this. This is the first tweet. Probably because your niece was fat and pregnant, the stupid low IQ shit low IQ people like you, there's this here, come up with, get mental help for whatever is going on in your life that makes you hate Meghan for. She doesn't even know you. Okay, so the person deleted her post, but what happened is that I had already I took a screenshot on my phone and share it with you. So I have that. Hold on for a second. Let me look for it. So this is the same tweet as that. Okay. This is that, and this was on my phone. So this is the retweet that is no longer there. Okay, my niece tried to do the bending challenge. She's 125 and 6 months pregnant. There was no way possible for her to bend down with closed legs. No way possible. Meghan was never, I guess, pregnant. Okay, so this is the thing that she retweeted, and there's me here responding. So I'm going back to Twitter. I just wanted to read what she wrote here because I have it on a screenshot. Okay, so there's me here. Okay, there should be a disclaimer. Do not try this if you have never done this before. I was talking, when I look at these, all right, those, there's women who are pregnant who has been working out, okay, for a very long time, and they still maintain that same routine while they're pregnant. And this is why I said there should be a disclaimer. Do not try this if you have never done this before. If you have, make sure you have someone else there. Anything is possible. Okay? Even though as experienced anybody could be, but the fact that you are pregnant or anything like that, you know, if you're at home, there's people who have their home gym, they do those kind of things. Don't try them. Okay? But with Meghan, it's the squatting part. Meghan is very flexible. When you, what is it? Even on Ellen, I believe. Ellen make fun of that as well. Ask her to squat. Remember when Meghan went on Ellen? So it's because of that, I believe, in my humble opinion, she had asked Meghan to do the squatting, because when you see when Meghan is bending down, she is perfectly aligned. Look, I'm never envy of anything, but that alignment of Meghan is perfect. So this is what these people are, you know, making reference to. And if you never done those type of thing, don't do it. Not even lifting those heavy weight to do those weighted squats. Okay, so I went a different direction, but the squad is saying. I was reading some part of it where they were saying, if your niece is 126 pounds, that must be something wrong. All right, let me read some of this. Love you, there's the laugh. Niece isn't flexible in her hips from decades of not doing yoga like Duchess Meghan. Mean niece was flexible enough to spread her legs for a 230-pound man. I didn't see that one. Oh my God. I swear I didn't read this one. Okay, niece was flexible enough to spread her legs for a 230-pound man and get knocked up. Ignore her. Her niece obviously isn't used to doing this, so can do it. My exercise class teacher was still teaching ballet classes until 8 months. You see, I didn't even read this. This is what I'm saying. There's some people who been doing those type of things. They're continuing it, but in a more controller, okay, even though it was being controlled, but in a more technical control manner while they're still pregnant, okay, and still able to do a full bar routine at 7 months. Everyone is different. That's true. Okay, now squat can improve your range of motion and mobility. They also place less stress on your hips joint relative to wide squat. Wider squat result in greater engagement of the muscles around the hip. The gluteal, that's the butt, group and inner thighs muscle came alive in the wide half. Okay, I guess one of two. I'm fat and I definitely could bend like that. Oh my God. I was teaching kindergarten, so I was squatting like that up until I went and leave. Yeah, I could understand that. With kids, yeah. Okay, let me go to the next tweet. And I think it's making reference to that as well. Exercise. Let's see. I had to get the screenshot to see what was she retweeting about. Okay, so there's that again. Oh, please, maybe try yoga. You seem inflexible. So they're making reference to the same thing. Okay, I could bend, kneel, and squat all the way through both of my pregnancies. I did exercise also. The Rangers just do not realize that everybody is different. That's the thing here. I watched Rihanna do a halftime show pregnant. These women seem to have bodies as inflexible as their brain. The knees. actually thought that was a commercial. I was gonna skip it, but until I saw her profile, I was like, oh, that's a squaddy. The niece. Okay, so this is the ad. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so now I am with American Princess. What is this about? Okay, all of the energy devoted to an American princess who you don't support will be better spent focused on an English princess that you do support, especially since she hasn't been seen in months. Just saying. Okay, I think Kate is brain dead. I think the royal family is hitting what been done to her. It is up to UK citizens to ask for proof of life, and if they don't, then what the hell is the royal life worth, and why are they paying out their asses for it? Okay. The other day, actually today, before I start recording, I was taking a shower, and I was thinking, maybe, okay? Almost every videos I say something different, so don't take my word for it, okay? This is just my opinion. I was like, maybe she was pregnant, and I was thinking of someone in that circle, okay, who got her pregnant, so they want her to get that pregnancy out of the way so nobody's seen her pregnant, so they do not acknowledge that child. This is another spin that I come with that, okay? I could be 1,000,000% wrong, okay? So maybe she was pregnant, so they're waiting for her to give birth, that way nobody will see that child. Okay, or maybe if she is pregnant and give birth, maybe the mom will take care of that child. They will not bring that child in the circle of the family. I don't know. I'm just thinking because they're not letting people know. So my imagination is running wild. So you guys could come after me as much as you want because this is just my opinion. Okay. I think, okay, I just read this. I don't like Meghan, fine. You don't like Kate, fine. Focus on the one you like and leave the other one alone. All of these fan accounts only exist to harass Meghan and her family. They don't care about Kate. They can't pick Sophie out of a lineup before Meghan. That is true. For Fiesta. That will require them to actually care about the English princess, and we all know they don't. That is true. Alright, after these two, that's it. Since December 28, 2023, Kate Middleton has gone missing, unseen, and the only suspicious sighting was a tattletale from one UK TV personality who claimed to have received a letter from Kate. I call her claim. There's the toilet here full of crap. Okay, and what did Willie do? Okay, British psycho fans don't care as much about Kate as they do about hating Meghan. The amount of hate invested in a woman who is living her life on her terms. All right, so let's go to the next tweet. So I saw this, so I thought I'd share it with you. There's another one regarding Kate. Okay. For 2 years, I heard nonstop, quote, we have a right to harass and speculate about Meghan Markle because we pay for her, end quote. But here we are, 4 years after she left, and you guys still can't stop talking about her. The princess you do pay for is MIA for months now, and has been giving all of the privacy Meghan literally begged for when she was pregnant and struggling with suicidal ideation. It was never about being a working royal. It was always about racism, anti-Americanism, and classism. Okay, let me pause this. Okay, it is a marvel, really. Everything they told us could not be done either because one party didn't have the power to do it, or two, we pay and it must be done because of public interest. All of it is being done now. That's very interesting. Yet you're here. Okay, so what is that? Who she's responding to? Yet you here. Okay, I don't understand this, but I'm curious about this one. There's 4 comments under it. Okay, so smart, capable Meghan couldn't pick up the phone and make an appointment for therapy. Then Harry have his therapy on speed dial at the time. We don't pay for much of anything. The sovereign grant works out of, was it $129 per person in the UK? There's a rolling eye. She asked if she could get inpatient treatment for her mental health issues, and she was told it will not look good for the family. That is not the same as just calling a therapist. That's the other thing as well. Remember, Meghan, this is the crazy thing. This is the mind game the UK was playing with her. They made her believe she is a working royal. Okay? They made her believe she is a working royal, an employee of the firm, just like Harry, because she's married to Harry. She was doing the same thing as Harry. Go to engagement, do all this stuff. They made her believe she is a working royal.
I know the fact that she'll be really unbelievably good at the job part of it as well is obviously a huge relief to me, because she'll be able to deal with everything else that comes with it. But no, you know, we're a fantastic team. We know we are, and we hope to, you know, over time, try and have as much impact for all the things that we care about as much as possible.
I am very excited about that, yeah.
And Meghan, given your acting and the profile you had, you'd already been involved in various causes, you've been an ambassador for UN Women. What about this new role? I mean, you're going to have a bigger platform, a bigger voice. What do you want to do with it?
I think what's been really exciting as we talk about the transition of this out of my career but into the role is that, as you said, the causes that have been very important to me I can focus even more energy on, because very early out of the gate I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility, which I take seriously. And at the same time, I think in these beginning few months and now being boots on the ground in the UK, I'm excited to just really get to know more about the different communities here, smaller organizations who are working on the same causes that I've always been passionate about under this umbrella. And also being able to go around to the Commonwealth. I think it's just the beginning of a...
There's a lot to do.
Really?
There's a lot to do.
And it's an immense change. You're getting a new country out of it, a husband obviously, but also giving up your
nice.
career.
Yes, that's nice.
This is why, in my humble opinion, I feel like she went and asked them for that before she made her, you know, her own thing, and then they start calling foul and whatever. No matter what she does, they will call foul anyway. So they give her that answer, which this comment mentioned, that will not look good for the institution. Meanwhile, they never thought of her as an employee at all. Harry and Meghan thought, in my humble opinion, I'm not speaking for them, they made them believe, including Harry, they made both of them, Harry and Meghan, believe that Meghan is a working royal. Harry thought Meghan is a working royal because he brought her in to do this type of thing.
I know the fact that she'll be really unbelievably good at the job part of it as well.
While she left her real job as an actress and all the other things she was doing.
Also giving up your
nice.
career.
Yes, that's nice. Yes. But I don't see it as giving anything up. I just see it as a change.
To come and help. Watch the engagement and see what they said and things that they have done. Forget what they said. Focus on what they did. Okay? Send her overseas, do all this engagement and all of that. Okay, send her overseas, do all this engagement and all of that.
I was looking into darkness for something to hold on
while she was pregnant. Now, when she asked for help, they brush it off, thinking, oh, for the to create that facade that everything is perfect. Okay? So she followed through, but eventually they left. All right? Okay? I'm white and I approve this message. Also, a woman hence where his option originate. Okay? I think the Prince of Pegging hurt Kate and no rage. The media silence is to protect the heir and the monarchy. You know, the thing that they try to, you know, focus on, like Charles trying, you know, with the overshadowed and all of that. There's one, I think I bookmark it. There's one of the tweets here. I made reference to that. Until he died, he will never get it. And this overshadowed thing, the spotlight with all the others and creating certain facade is BS. They will never get it to the standard that they want, because they keep on creating bullshit. They keep on doing immoral kind of acts. So whatever, but let's move on to the next one. Okay, so now we are into Valentine Law. I have four. I should have separated more. 4 tweets regarding that. Okay, what they wish for versus what they got. Toxic British media clown. Okay, so let's listen. 41 seconds.
Highly publicised tour of Pakistan, Kate's calm handling of the press further underlined to the world how she was growing into her role as a queen in waiting.
I travelled with Kate and William on the RAF Voyager from the UK to Pakistan. William and Kate had us all forward to the front of the plane where they were to chat to us. We're so glad you're here. Thanks so much for coming to Pakistan with us. We're really grateful you're here, covering all our work. Thank you so much. It was a very skillful piece of diplomacy by William and Kate, because you do want the press to be on side, because then they're going to write, frankly, nice things about you. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, the thing is that these people, this is the problem that they had with Meghan and Harry. Harry and Meghan, they do the work. They don't want people to sugarcoat their work. You see what you see, talk about it. That's it. Nothing personal. Is it finished? Okay. For some reason, the second...
and it made front pages everywhere. But you wouldn't have known that talking to Meghan. She was absolutely, smiled nicely, answered my questions. I was allowed 2 questions, but of course, like all journalists, you always ask a cheeky third question, see if you can get away with it. It was a deliberately innocuous cheeky third question, because I knew that Harry was in a bad mood that day. There'd been a bit of an altercation between him and a television reporter, so I kept it nice. But she answered my third question. But while talking to her, I just got the impression that she was focusing on a point about 12 inches behind the back of my head. She was just looking straight through me. And once we over and she said bye and walked off, I convinced if I bumped into her, she wouldn't have known who I was. I was just nothing to her.
Professional, that's it. I mean, what do these people expect? They wanted people to be friendly with her. What the hell? These people are not professional at all. There's Meghan here, answer your question, and did everything that... Look at this. They said 2 questions was supposed to ask, and he squeezed in the 3rd one. Meghan still answered it. What else do you need? For her to know about your personal life? To say, oh, hi, whoever your name is, let's go have dinner or something. No, she doesn't know you like that. It's just professional. What the hell is wrong with these people? This is the same standard with Omid. There's one video. Let me pause it. I may have it, but I don't know where I put it. It's not by itself. Omid once said, when there's usually stories about the royal family, when Meghan was in the UK, sometime when he comes across them, he doesn't rush to write it or put it out first, because these people, okay, the royal rats will come after him thinking that he is the mouthpiece of Meghan. Meanwhile, they have the same information as Omid. So Omid withheld his and waited until the other ones put theirs out, and then he put his own perspective into the matter. This is the professionalism that Omid has. When he does his thing, He do it and then he move on to the next thing. But these people, they want to get into your everyday, everything that Meghan does. And Meghan was like, no. And Harry said the same thing too. And this is the same thing. Oh my God. I'll start it all over. Harry has as well. From the time he was young, Harry understand the assignment. Okay? When I'm doing engagement, feel free. Take pictures, do all this stuff, whatever. But when that engagement is done, I'm in my private setting, I move on. Don't come in my face with cameras and all of that. But they refuse to do that. This is the problem the UK has. And you know who caused it? Charles. Okay? He can't... Okay. Let me see if I could rewind it.
Totally professional, attacking the press.
Come on.
But no personal engagement whatsoever.
That's a real shame. So should we concentrate on the rules that are here and working? Also, I think we think...
You know what? Let me stop. Because I have the Valentine Low and another video. So I'll play it again because this one won't play the way that I want it to be played. Okay, why did Low want personal engagement from Meghan? They wanted the biracial woman to be grateful for being in their presence. Okay, will you not keep it professional if you met the prince of your life and his country's media way of greeting you is Harry's girl straight out of Campton in a derogatory way and more? There's that here. Oh, so it wasn't here that I put the comment. Okay, all Harry and Meghan wanted was for the press to be fair. Be fair, that's all. They let their work speak for themselves. Everything else, separation between private and public. Not friend. That's how Omid takes it. Just work, then move on to the next gig. The royal family made royal rats feel like a family. Not. Okay, so there's some people. Okay, these people are nothing more than glorified stenographers. Meghan knew who he was and didn't want to have anything to do with him or his papers. They could be. Who is this nothing man and why does his opinion matter? The entitlement of him. The titlement of him. What a sad little man. So a little bit of full attention and they were positive stories. Nice to know. This is the thing. Harry and Meghan, they just want their work to speak for itself. But these people, they want to get all this so they could create this freaking narrative. They already had a narrative for Meghan. And Meghan was like, Harry was like, you're not going to get to talk to her.
4 times I asked the palace, or maybe 3 times I asked the palace, if we, as a media group, could meet Meghan, and it never happened.
And this is the thing with Harry. He learned from experience. That few minutes Harry spent with one of the royal rats, who Harry thought was just a small interview, and that interview turned into a book. You know, Harry learned from that. And this is why, Harry then allowed Meghan to have interview with these people because they were going to turn it into something else. All those painful experiences that Harry went through, as much as I hate to say this, is because what will be laying ahead for him, where he is now, is those paths that he was, those pain. I'm pretty sure there are times at night, he will lay in bed probably crying with anger and all this, and his father then give a shit, and his brother will add more to his pain, so that he was by himself. So all of this pain and anger that he went through, the 15-minute interview he did that turned into a book, and all these other things, there's probably piles and piles of experiences that he went through that he learned from to where he's at now. Okay, because those media hungry vultures will never leave him alone. God is good. God will always protect them. And then you see the father and the rest of the family. None of them are willing to help him. So he had to do his thing and move on. Okay, these grannies, meh, he gonna force me disrespect my elder. So does he think what he said makes sense? Age is just a number. It doesn't come with sense lately. Was Meghan supposed to carry you at her back? There's a video that I did a review of. I think it's Australia 60 Minute. And I think it was him. I did the review on it. I was like, what the hell is this guy on? He was one of the main problem Meghan had over there. But anyway, next one. And I think it's making reference to the same thing. Valentine Low. If the video is there, I'll play it again. Okay. So I'll play it again. I was nothing to her. That's a quote, by the way. I was nothing to her. She looked straight through me, end quote. She's not your friend. You were there to do a job. That's it. That's it. And she credited this person. Who is that? Okay, Henry, Rachel, Archie, Lily. Okay, so that's the person she credited to. Okay, a minute and 12 seconds.
Attacking the press, particularly the tabloid press, and it made front pages everywhere. But you wouldn't have known that talking to Meghan. She was absolutely, smiled nicely, answered my questions. I was allowed 2 questions, but of course, like all journalists, you always ask a cheeky third question, see if you can get away with it. It was a deliberately innocuous cheeky third question, because I knew that Harry was in a bad mood that day. There'd been a bit of an altercation between him and a television reporter, so I kept it nice. But she answered my third question. But while talking to her, I just got the impression that she was focusing on a point about 12 inches behind the back of my head. She was just looking straight through me. And once we'd over...
She kept it professional. That's all. Just professional. Nothing personal. Just business. That's it. And the thing that he forgot, Meghan is used to these things. She was in front of cameras all the time. They ask her questions. She knows how to handle these things. So what did you expect from her? She knows how to handle those paparazzi people. There's videos that I have of her in Canada. People coming up to her. People taking pictures, asking her questions and everything. She was fine with them until she got to the UK. Then you guys turned it into a freaking terrorist kind of thing. All right, let's continue.
When she said bye and walked off, I convinced if I bumped into her, she wouldn't have known who I was. I was just nothing to her. It was a very weird experience.
It's not weird.
Totally professional, but
there's the part. She was professional. That's it. Nothing personal. Moving back slightly. I talk over it. I know some of you hate that.
It was a very weird experience. She was totally professional, but no personal engagement whatsoever.
That's a real shame. So should we concentrate on the rules that are here and working? Obviously, I think we think...
Yeah, focus on those that are there. All right, let's see here. Let's pause. This is the interview that he's talking about. Okay, a minute and 56 seconds. Okay, I might have this video again in the next tweet, so we'll see how that goes.
So we've heard a lot about gender-based violence on this story.
Yes.
What has been the impact on you hearing and discovering firsthand so much about the problem in South Africa? And is it something you will continue to campaign on back in the UK?
Look, it's been very important to me for a long time to focus on women's and girls' rights, and especially their empowerment. So to be able to see this from afar and then now see the work that's being done on the ground, I think what's really key is to focus on the work that needs to be done, but also how much incredible work is being done.
There it is. Work. This is the thing here. Work. Take to be professional. Focus on the work only, not to be personal.
And be able to be here and help support those people who are really actively working to champion the rights of women and girls.
It's now the penultimate day of the tour.
It is.
From your point of view, how's it gone? And do you think that you as a woman of colour can bring something new and interesting to the way the royal family engages with people in countries such as South Africa?
Well, the Commonwealth is a very diverse place, right, with 53 countries, and so being a part of this family and the platform that comes with that is an incredible responsibility that I take really seriously.
Okay, this part that she just mentioned, she said it in her, in her engagement interview?
Meghan, given your acting and the profile you had, you'd already been involved in various causes, you've been an ambassador for UN Women. What about this new role? I mean, you're going to have a bigger platform, a bigger voice. What do you want to do with it?
I think what's been really exciting as we talk about the transition of this out of my career but into the role is that, as you said, the causes that have been very important to me I can focus even more energy on, because very early out of the gate, I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility, which I take seriously.
And the platform that comes with that is an incredible responsibility that I take really seriously.
You realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility, which I take seriously. And at the same time, I think in these...
The platform that comes with that is incredible responsibility that I take really seriously.
Well, you know, I feel a really big responsibility. Like if you have this kind of job and you have an opportunity to have a profile where people are listening to what you're saying, I really, truly think you need to be saying something that's valuable.
Okay, same thing. Okay, she doesn't falter. She knows what she was all about, getting into that family. Okay, she said it in the engagement interview. She take it very seriously. There she is repeating it again. I'm moving it back slightly. Let me bookmark this.
Being a part of this family and the platform that comes with that is incredible responsibility that I take really seriously. Being able to be in Africa and South Africa, it's my first time being in this country, has been really powerful, and you know, Harry has continued on in a couple other countries. We're reuniting today. I can't wait for I miss him so much. You know, I think for us it's just been a really special trip because you get to see when you're focusing on the causes that are really important to us.
Beginning few months and now being boots on the ground in the UK, I'm excited to just really get to know more about the different communities here, smaller organizations who are working on the same causes that I've always been passionate about under this umbrella.
You know, I think for us it's just been a really special trip because you get to see when you're focusing on the causes that are really important to us.
And also being able to go around to the Commonwealth, I think it's just the beginning of the...
You can see the impact is good and it feels meaningful.
Same thing. Some of the things she said during her engagement interview.
How's it been for you as a family? You've had 4 months old Archie.
Yes,
How's it been having Archie with you and also being separated from Harry?
Oh my goodness, well, we're doing well. I think the schedule, they've been very kind to me because everything's based around Archie's feed times. So it's a full plate, but we're making it work. It's worth it. So thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Answer his question professionally, but he wanted more. What the hell? And then knowing what we know now, years later, what happened to Archie's room. Okay. Let's see here. They really wanted to be acknowledged. Okay, he assumed that they were friends. Clown. Okay, that's an ad, live coverage, or Harry watching this nonsense. Okay, after this, that's it. Her professionalism was a problem. Okay, any journalist who think they are meant to bond with every person they interview maybe should get a pet. That is true. This butt-hurt moron, he's as bad as the voter writers who were begging for an invitation to tea. Get over yourselves. Okay, this is the thing here. Just keep it professional. Once you start putting feeling behind your work, that's a problem. You could be passionate about your work. Oh, let's pause. Okay, you could be passionate about your job and want to do things and whatever, but when you in that level, you know, this is the thing that they've been doing since Princess Diana. These same key players were there when Princess Diana was alive, and they want the same thing again. Nah, Harry learned. All right, let's continue. This is the next tweet. Okay, I noticed in 2 years Meghan worked for the royal family. There's the part where I was saying they made them believe that they were working royals, but they didn't consider them as working royal. They made all of us, including Meghan, believe that she's a working royal. They made me believe she was a working royal. But when things come out and ask for help, like any employee will do, they turn a blind eye. Okay, so let's start all over. I noticed in 2 years, Meghan worked for the royal family. Why was she always being interviewed like this and not the other women? I can find a video where they actually answering questions about their tours or engagement on site. Because the other one can't speak. She mumbles. Okay, this is the interview he asked. So that's the one that I was talking about. I just shared. Okay, let's read some of the comment. Great observation. Diana was the only one I can remember. Oh, so there's my comment here. She says the same. Okay, that's supposed to be an M. She said the same thing here as she said in her engagement. She's consistent and on point. Oh, that's an ad. No wonder why. Let me not even. Okay, we know why. There's that here. Because Mambo cannot speak. There's this here. I have that also. Okay, at Twitter, hilarious. Okay, you got me. There's that. This is why the full interview is even worse, but hard to find. Okay, Jill Biden can prepare. She was surprised and unimpressed when the staff ended the meeting. She wanted to discuss and know more about the subject. She said she thought it's going to be a conference. Her word implies. Let me go. Okay, I'll go into this. Let me read what's there. Okay, you can't blame them. Look at all the sense she makes whenever she answers the question. The others could never, and thus the royal rights could not and cannot be put on the spot. Just see how Toby is fumbling just with a written statement. You put him on the spot and then makes jokes on rape. Okay, I didn't really share these things at all. It was too crazy. Because they were setting her up, hoping for her to say something wrong so they could have a reason to gaslight and attack her. But they failed. That is true. That is true. And this is why I was saying Meghan is used to that. She was always on the spotlight. People asking her questions, interviews, left and right. So she knows what to say. Okay, Meghan, there's a heart, is a talent, educated young lady who is always prepared. She never had an easy ride from day one in the British royal family. So all the more reason for her to show them she's not new to this, but born for it. Eloquently execute every question. Okay, so let me go into that. Okay, there will be screenshot, okay, but just pay attention to the audio. Hopefully it's loud. I have the full version of it. Is it C-SPAN? Because C-SPAN was covering it. That's a television station for politics in the US. Okay, so let's listen. Let me read this. Jill Biden. Okay, I read part of it. Jill Biden can prepare. She was surprised and unimpressed when the staff ended the meeting. She wanted to discuss and know more about the subject. She said she thought it's going to be a conference. Her words imply she had no idea it was just another photo app for Kate. Okay, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't know if I'm going to say anything in between.
But I think we're moving in the right direction. And I also wanted to ask about food security. I had so many things that I wanted to ask about, but I guess I'll have to just come back.
Your Royal Highness, any closing reflections?
I'm the same. I could talk about it for a very long time. It's so lovely to see so many familiar faces. But just to pick on I suppose what's been discussed a bit about the importance of parenthood and a bit about, I suppose, my own journey into looking into the importance.
I'm sorry, it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't want to. I have this in another video. If you find it, go listen to it. I don't want to waste time on this one. Let me go to the next tweet. It's ridiculous. Next one. Okay, at Valentine Low, has Kate ever given you an interview like Duchess of Sussex did? You were so used to mediocre women that when you all came around Meghan, William included, you all felt intimidated by her intelligence. Meghan left years ago, just move on already. Nonsense. Okay, so there's that here. Same thing again. Okay, why I love Meghan, an exceptionally gracious woman. The unprofessionalism of the royal voter, especially when it comes to Duchess Meghan, is well documented. Okay, so we went over this. There's no more comment. Let's go to the next tweet. Now we are into immigration. Here is immigration. Now, remember I said at the beginning of the video, I was not aware of any of these things. If there was going to be a court thing about immigration, so whatever. This came later. I saw it after going through my timeline and I come across it. But the other tweets that I will be sharing with you after this one were before this one. Okay, but I decided to put it first on the list. That way we have a sense what they're talking about. Okay, problem solved. I'm cackling. Okay, so let's go into that. Prince Harry's book, not proof he took drugs. U.S. visa court case told follow live. Okay, Prince Harry's memoir is not, quote, proof, end quote, he took drugs and could have been embellished to sell books, a lawyer for the Biden administration argued on Friday. It came as a D.C. court began hearing a case on Prince Harry's U.S. visa application stemming from his self-admitted drug use. What the hell? They really want him back. Yeah, they want him back in the UK, so they're trying their best. My goodness. Lawyers from the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, were taking on the Department for Homeland Security, DHS, arguing the application should be made public as a result of confession he made in his best-selling memoir Spare. They contend that the Duke's past drug use should have disqualified him from entering the United States under federal law and that releasing his application is of immense public interest. No, it's not. No. And the UK probably, his family probably, but no. If that happened, how many others they're gonna throw out of the country because of drug use? But John Bobo told the court that the book isn't sworn testimony or proof that the Duke of Sussex did in fact take illegal drugs. Saying something in a book doesn't necessarily make it true, he said. The Biden administration has previously supported the Duke and keeping his record hidden from the public. Okay, so let's see here. The Rangers, Prince Harry. Okay, let me not go into that. There's no comment here. Let's go to the next one. That's making reference to that, what I just read here. Next tweet. Okay, so let's pause this. You see this BS flying about Prince Harry's immigration status. I refuse to give it too much attention because we all know who's behind it. They want Harry back in the UK. Yeah, I think so too. In the UK, and they will use anyone to do their dirty work to force him back. They want him and Meghan separated. Yeah. You know what? It doesn't have to be, you know what? Let me not give ideas. Okay, what was the court judgment today? Nothing came of it. Okay. I'll look it up in a few. Okay, I really don't think they want him back. They don't want any more attention on any of this. This is coming from people here. Nah. They do want him back. Where is William while Charles is sick? I live in the UK and I can tell you that they want him back. Do you know how much money the media makes off of him here? The same media said that Harry is the gift that keeps giving. Okay. Oh, there was court judgment on him? I didn't know. I really didn't know. Like an hour ago. And even when they'll one day succeed with their agenda to drive Prince Harry out of the US, especially, God forbid, when that yellow man comes in power again, Prince Harry can still live in the UK with his wife and kids without working for the royal family. UK is his country. Hopefully, they leave him alone. Okay, Meghan's niece is an immigration attorney. Thank you. I've said this, not in this video, but I've said this in previous one. She knows what. I'm pretty sure she got Harry covered. Okay, Meghan's niece is an immigration attorney. I'm sure Harry and Meghan have all information needed regarding his immigration matter. As a spouse of U.S. citizen, there is immediate visa available if his spouse chooses to petition for him. Not only that, that little investigation that I did, I think I call it his status, isn't PYTE. One of the things that I find out, there are so many options when you have money. Okay, it's not the same for the little people. There are so many options for people who have money, different type of visa, and here and back and forth. Okay, so here we have an array of options. Not only that, his wife is American. His child, one of his child is American, so Harry is fine. None of this can be, personal information doesn't have to make public. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I did say I wanted to look. Let me see something. Okay, so this is the thing I wanted to look into. All right, I typed in on Google Harry's immigration status. Harry, who now lives with his American wife, Meghan Markle, and 2 children in Southern California, likely entered the U.S. on either a spousal visa or an O1 visa, which are reserved for individuals with extraordinary ability in the science, art, education, business, or athletics. Okay, so there's all of this talking about. Okay. GB News, Daily Express, whatever. I'm not gonna click on it. So the next thing that I look into is O1 visa. What is that? Okay, O1 non-immigrant visa is for the individual who possesses extraordinary ability in the science, art, education, business, or athletic. Okay, Harry possesses all of that. What is Invictus? Okay, or has a demonstrated record of extraordinary achievement in the motion picture, what's going on with Netflix and all of that, or television industry, and has been recognized nationally or internationally for those. Living legend of aviation. Okay, there's that. So Harry fall under this, but we do not know for a fact. Okay, so let's go back. Where was I? Let's do the next tweet. I'm telling you, God is good. God is good. And I hope the, how do you call this? The voters in the US, we are fighting. There's a huge battle ahead. Next tweet. The Rangers have been saying for over a year that Prince Harry lied in his book Spare, yet they expected him to be deported based on what he wrote. Okay, so there's the same thing again. Prince Harry's book, not proof he took drugs, you follow live. Okay, Prince Harry's memoir is not, okay, this is the thing that I just read, so I don't need to read it again. You could pause and read it again. Okay, there's me here. There was a presenter in the UK who said that when Trump become president, he'll deport Harry. Okay, if Trump become president again, I'm sure a lot of people will believe on their own accord. Yeah, I've heard, there's an interview I was watching yesterday where this guy was saying, I think he has written a couple things about Trump and things like that. He's like, if he become president, he's gonna leave. Okay, he's either lie in his book or lie on his visa application, or he's giving special treatment because of who he is, so what it is. Okay, you miss out the correct answer. Prince Harry told the truth in his book, he told the truth on his visa application, and he hasn't been giving special treatment. Heritage do not have the right to see his private information. I hope that helped. I did a video before where I talk about this, okay? So I don't want to waste too much time on it, and there's more on the same topic again. Let's move on. Next tweet. My goodness, the amount of money these people are paying to do I don't know. Next tweet. Them right, put some respect to his name, the Duke of Sussex. Okay, George Carl J. Nicholas also raised concern that referring to the Duke as Prince Harry was too informal. He said it felt, quote, very uncomfortable, end quote, to refer to him as such before deciding the Duke of Sussex was more appropriate. Okay, why is Prince considered less formal than Duke? I'm definitely missing something. Okay, I don't know either. Mind reminding which judge this is? Our Duke has so many cases, I can't remember which is which. I know there are a lot. Okay, so that's an ad. Let's go to the next one. This one, I don't know if okay. There's a tweet that I come across regarding Invictus, but I don't want to put it here. Next tweet. Let's see here. William is jealous of the success of the Invictus game. You don't say. There's that here. All right, almost 2 minutes. Part 3. Where is part 1? Let me go into that. Okay. So that's a thread. Let's go. Let's start from the beginning. I didn't even know. All right. Oh, damn. That's a thread. Okay, so let's go through it. You know what? I'm going to leave this for my other channel. Our part of pure service. Okay, so let me move this. Okay, so I moved that for our part of pure service, so I'm not going to share it here. All right, next tweet. All right, so you need to subscribe to our part of pure service for that. I thought it was something else. Next tweet. This was supposed to be a big moment in Will's royal career, yet everyone is skeptical due to his work-shy tendencies. In fact, Willie clocked out Wednesday and hasn't been seen since. What the hell? This one is 1 minute 6 seconds. Let's listen.
And so you have to ask, is he doing this because he's genuinely interested in the humanitarian impulse? Is he doing it because somebody's told him to? Or is he doing it because he wants to have a higher profile and he wants to essentially put himself out there?
Are you leaning to any of the three?
I would like to keep an open mind at the moment, because, I mean, as ever with any of the royal family, it's quite hard to see what the end game is, because I think what we have to ask of the royal family, especially with Charles being indisposed, is...
The thing that I got from this was end game, and I thought of Omid's book. All right, so let me move it back. Sorry.
To ask of the royal family, especially with Charles being indisposed, is there a power struggle brewing? Because we can never know for certain. I mean, obviously, the royal family has presented itself for a long time as harmonious and one big happy family, which of course we know they're not. Given all the attendant Prince Harry controversy, I mean, Harry wanting to come back to Britain and offering to step in as being a part-time working royal again.
Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family?
No. It's as if William's looked at all that and thought...
That was before. Let's not get confused with that. That was before they left. Harry was making sure, in my humble opinion, all his options were taken into consideration, but they rejected everything. So what Harry's doing right now, being in the US with his wife and kid, is the institution who chose it for him. Remember the Sandrium Summit?
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance, no royal role, no working for granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between, a compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told
It's the institution who chose it for him.
everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history.
All his actions were taken into consideration, but they rejected everything.
And they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said.
So what Harry's doing right now, being in the US with his wife and kid, is the institution who chose it for him.
And eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5.
Is the institution who chose it for him.
We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5.
Is the institution who chose it for him.
Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
The institution decided that for him. So he left. Okay? So now that things is not working according to these people, they thought they had everything under control. They had the power of everything, like they could control everybody's mind. Oh, they try. They try with all of those newspapers and TV talking BS, trying to put nonsense into people's mind, and they're still not getting the love and adoration that they want. The love and adoration follows Harry and Meghan to the US, and it's even bigger, much bigger, because now in the US it's just being fair coverage. They're not giving special treatment at all. It's just fair coverage of their work. Their work is speaking for themselves. So now they are upset about that. Who's are? The royal family. Now they want him back. Okay? So Harry is doing what the institution wanted him to do. And he's doing it. And then let's not forget, Charles took everything away from him. Harry was willing to give up his titles. But he said no. Okay, he, meaning the firm or whoever, said no, he can't relinquish the title. Okay, so I don't know what's the problem here now, because Harry is doing his thing. If he was suffering or he didn't have a place to live, I don't know. I guess they will leave him alone, or they will make fun of it. They will find a way to laugh at him. Not that they cannot laugh at him, so they want him back to be in a miserable state so they could laugh at him again. These people are freaking ridiculous. When I said evil originated in the UK, it originated in the UK. I'm starting to believe it. Okay? When he was leaving, they said he's irrelevant. They will not talk about him. Every freaking day, since he left, it's Harry and Meghan. Alright, so I move it back. Let's listen.
Offering to step in as being a part-time working royal again. It's as if William's looked at all that and thought, whatever he can do, I can do better. Because I think that obviously the two brothers hate each other, but there's also a sense of competitiveness, so there's been there since childhood.
You know what? In terms of hate, I think it's one-sided only. I don't think Harry hates William. Harry understands the position, the institution, everything it stands for. He understands it. It's William who has the hate. Whatever it is, the institution put in his head. Because the father, who was the heir to the throne, they put the same nonsense to his head. Okay, about being, front and center. They should be talking about him all the time. And he's doing stupid things, but they should be talking positive things. While he's doing stupid things, they should brush that aside, fool the people, say nice thing about him while he's still doing his stupidity. And this is William is replicating exactly what Charles did. Now, instead of Princess Diana to Charles, it's Harry and Meghan to William. Now, William, who's doing stupidity every freaking day of his life, look at this. Without his wife next to him, he went to meet some actress or during BAFTA and said some stupid things. Now, who should we blame for that? Not Harry. Okay, so he wants to be nice to the royal rat so they could write nice thing about him, but he's doing stupid things. He can never learn from past experience to improve on himself. There's Harry here doing his thing. Harry literally told them, every time Harry does a speech, I sometimes believe he's just telling the institution what they need to do.
Because to be role models, or the role models that each of you are, takes strength and it takes courage. But what I remind him is that no matter what you want to be when you grow up, it's your character that matters most.
The uniform you've been wearing this past week will give you a new story to tell. And for others, it may give your old uniform new meaning. But I'm here to remind you that after all this, you don't need to rely on a uniform, nor should you ever feel lost without one.
When you look at the Netherlands interview, the speech that he did during, is it the open or closing ceremony? Okay, and then the Germany thing, when he spoke about the uniform, he literally sending them message, how you're supposed to do certain things, but they're not taking it. All the royal family wants to think about, the left behind, just a nice thing about me. Meanwhile, they consistently hitting their head on the wall and repeating the same stupidity. As long the tabloid keep on saying nice thing, but they're repeating the same stupidity. And then at the same time, Harry, who's letting his work speaks for itself, they're hating on him. Because this is what the tangible thing, the things that people could feel.
Prince Harry, the human touch that he has, was simply extraordinary. He came around and spoke to every single athlete. He shook the hand of every single athlete. I was also able to show him a picture of my little girl, who's also a redhead. So I said to him, oh, look, this is my little girl. And I've got a picture of her putting a funny face. And he said, my little girl does that face. He was amazing. And without Prince Harry's advocacy and constant commitment to this process, that individual lives like mine wouldn't have been touched. And we're now seeing that extend to 21 nations across the globe. And he's one of us. He is one of us. Like me, has served in Afghanistan. So I was amazed to meet him and to be able to have a magical moment, and selfies and photos was brilliant. And he's around here all the time. He keeps walking around here, and of course gave that amazing speech at the beginning of the opening ceremony.
Because this is what the tangible thing, the things that people could feel, could experience, could acknowledge, could taste.
This is Felix for World Central Kitchen reporting from Soufrière Primary School in the Caribbean island of Dominica. The school you can see behind me was devastated by Hurricane Maria back in 2017, and in fact it took a whole 2 years before pupils were allowed back on site. I'm now here with my colleague Jason to announce the completion of the first of our community relief kitchens. The kitchen will be used primarily to feed the needs of the 67 pupils here at the school, but we'll also be offering culinary training to the wider community when the school's not in session. We've been able to design the kitchen in such a way that it's resilient to future disasters and will be activated as a service kitchen to meet those needs if it arises. We really like to extend our thanks firstly to ResDM, the local partner on the ground here, and also to Meghan and Harry's Archwell Foundation, whose support have helped the project become possible.
Because this is what the tangible thing, the things that people could feel, could experience, could acknowledge, could taste, all the senses that you have. Harry have provided this to the people. You may not experience all of the senses, but part of the senses you will get. There's those veterans who experience the Invictus. Okay, there's those who's getting treatment for their mental health. There's those who's getting food from Well Central Kitchen, which the Archwell is supporting. I'm not saying Well Central Kitchen is running only because of Archwell. No, they were doing their own thing. Harry and Meghan is boosting them up a little bit more. So there's this aspect of things. People are experiencing, tasting, feeding, literally feeding off of Harry's work. Harry's and Meghan. What are the royal family are supposed to do? Instead, they spend probably 2,000,000% of their energy on hating on Harry and Meghan. They refuse to look at what's in front of them. What is the real issue? They don't want to look at this. Now, Harry, who was over there, who was literally doing almost the same thing. Almost the same thing, but under the umbrella of the institution, they hate him for it. So, I mean, there's no win-win on this. Now, there's William, who's heir to the throne. Since he was a kid, they let him know this is what awaits him. Now, the father is sick. Where is he when he's supposed to step up and show his ability? Now, you had the Dutch 18-year-old. His father went to a 3-day whatever overseas. Who took the place of the father? So why can't William do that? The father is still alive. Charles is still alive. Guess what? This is the perfect time for him to practice what awaits him. While his father is not there, you could take a pile of whatever papers, go to Syndrium, wherever Charles is, and go over it with the father and say, what do you think of this? How should I proceed this? Okay? Ask question. The whole freaking thing is in front of him. This is where, I mean, time is, how will I say that? The universe is giving William's time to learn. Now that the father is sick, this is the perfect time to be the intern. Go to the father and ask questions. Get that twin of marriage out of the womb and go to your father and get the help that you need. But whatever, who am I? I wasn't wait for these things. This is not my cup of tea, but this is how I will, usually the people who's not dealing with it tends to see things better, which is me. Okay, I'm not in the middle of it, but from the outside, this is what I see. So do not take my word for it. I'm just saying. Okay.
Criticisms that you've received is that, well, okay, fine, you want to move to California, you want to step back from the institutional role, why be so public? You say you tried to do this privately.
And every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. The family motto is never complain, never explain, but it's just a motto. And it doesn't really hold...
There's a lot of complaining and a lot of explaining.
Endless.
Private, being done through leaks.
Through leaks. They will feed or have a conversation with the correspondent, and that correspondent will literally be spoon-fed information and write the story, and in the bottom of it they will say that they've reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told for the last 6 years we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayed.
Did I read some of the comments or did I finish it? Oh, let's finish it. Sorry, I went on. Let's move it back. I went on.
Offering to step in as being a part-time working royal again. It's as if William's looked at all that and thought, whatever he can do, I can do better. Because I think that obviously the two brothers hate each other, but there's also a sense of competitiveness, and there's been there since childhood. And so you can see that William is probably feeling that he hasn't had a high enough public profile lately.
Okay, I stopped because of the hate. And when I said the hate is one-sided, it's the nonsense they put in William's head, and Harry is proving his worth, and William is hating on Harry because of Harry's, work kind of thing. Okay, I move it back again.
There's also a sense of competitiveness, and there's been there since childhood. And so you can see that William is probably feeling that he hasn't had a high enough public profile lately, he hasn't been doing enough, and so this is, I think, his way of reasserting himself.
Okay, that's on him because he had all the opportunity. Everything is, will be catered to him. If he had any idea, look at Harry, who's not even heir to the throne. When he was thinking about Invictus, what did he do? He went to the board member and asked if he could do it. They saw it was a good idea and he created it. So I'm sure if William has an idea, then he create Earthshot. And I think if Harry had went to William first, William would have told Harry, no, it's not a good idea. But then William will take it as his own and make it happen. But unfortunately, Harry, the kind-hearted that he is, I'm sure he would have helped William make it possible. And then he will get all the bragging right, which is William. But Harry created it. He did because he was passionate about it. He knows his family are not serious about this stuff. He grew up in it. He was born in there. He see the back end of things that many of us do not see. He knows what is said behind the closed doors. So he knows that if he speak to his brother about that, this will go, vaporize. All right? So he was passionate about it. He went straight to the people that matters. All right? So let's read some of the comments here. Yep, the same media that boost him up are getting in that behind. Now, I'm definitely don't agree with the Harry wanted to come back statement. You see? I don't think so. Back then, before he left, he wanted to check all of his boxes to make sure he covers everything. But the institution choose the life that Harry has now. Okay? But they didn't expect him to flourish. They wanted him to fail. But he succeed. Willie leaks that so he could shut it down. Okay? But Harry never said he wanted to come back to the fold for a part-time duties. Harry never said such nonsense. But that was only during the Syndrium. But they rejected that. Okay, and this is the word. The UK love to play with words. Okay, knowing what we know now from the Syndrium summit, all right, so they took part of it and they turned it into something else. There was one video that I was reviewing and this woman was saying something. I forgot how it went, but she was playing with words until the caller said, no, I know what you mean, but I think it had to do with the GMA interview regarding Harry and Invictus. I think it was that video. Alright, let's continue. I think Willie put it out so he could look like a tough guy shutting Harry down. Okay, let's see here. There's my comment. After this, that's it. It might help his profile in the UK, but that stance diminishes him in the global stage. He dares not call for peace anywhere in the world again because he'll be met with derision and criticism from leaders who actually like Harry. The only thing I got from this guy, laughing my ass off, the end game. I'll listen to it again. I did. That's the only thing I heard from him. Okay, he is the first time that I listened to it. He is repeating the press narrative that Harry wants to come back to the UK and offer to be part-time working boy again. That is just a blatant lie. Harry never said that. Willie just wanted to get some headlines because of Harry's successful trip in Canada. He failed. Okay, yeah, Willie wanted headlines and leaked that. Also, nobody believed his shift and sharing his vision on political matters. It wakes BS. All right, so let's go to the next one. Oh my God, I went on with this. All right, National Enquirer. So there's this here. This will explain a lot. Hi, squaddies, babes and brilliant marriage. Babes and brilliant marriage is on the rocks. And King Charles, 6 months to live. Oh, and this image, he looks like Prince Philip. Okay, he looks like Prince Philip. Who knows? I don't know. National Enquirer, the US don't take it serious. Okay, there's the laugh here. Bye, bye, bye. Okay, I don't trust the source. We've known this rag to be lying on Meghan, so why would we think that now it's telling the truth? Okay, that's an ad. That said, he and Babs have together for a long time. This is just a mean tabloid headline. Yuck. What? Okay, he refuses to leave the country if Trump wins. Okay, what is that? Okay. I'm missing something. Gilgo Beach Monster Party with Top Cap. Okay, I don't know. Let's move on. Oh, okay. I forgot the memo. We're supposed to look at other things but the headlines. I've been out too long. Let me... Okay, they focus on this, but technically it's this. Okay, let me move on. I'm already an hour now. Let's go to the next one.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.